Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. All right, another day, another JTolan Media1 video. All right, in this video here, he is trying to work out an actual height for Mount San Jacinto in California, and basically using these wind turbines as a reference. And in the end, he comes out with a calculated height of 6,500 feet versus an actual height of 10,800 feet. All right, so just to explain what he's doing in that previous slide, he is looking at some wind turbines in the foreground and then using similar triangles to work out the height of San Jacinto in the background. He's measured each turbine to be 150 feet tall and has placed 11 of them on top of each other to reach the peak of San Jacinto. And again, using the law of similar triangles, you can work out the height of the mountain in the background. And that comes out to 6,872 feet, according to his calculations. And then for some reason he discounts rather than adds the base level on the bottom. We'll get to that at the end. So his accuracy of about 6,500 feet depends on two things. Firstly, that is an accurate elevation at the base of the mountain. He says it's 500 feet. And secondly, whether he has an accurate height for the turbine. Right, first one's pretty easy to fix, and that is by drawing a line from his observer location up to Mount San Jacinto and checking the elevation just before it reaches the mountains. And as you see here, down the bottom right, the elevation is 893 feet, so roughly 900 feet rather than 500 feet. So secondly, we've got to check the height of the turbines that he gives. He said that he measured it with a rangefinder and inclinometer, and they worked out to be 150 feet tall. And he got backup from the internet that says the largest of these windmills stands 150 feet tall with blades half the legend of a football field. Obviously they mean length there, but what is wrong with this quote? Right, first of all, obviously there is a typo. Legend obviously means length. And funnily enough, that typo has been copied to about 200 odd websites around the internet. First question, how long is a football field? And the answer is it's 100 yards or 300 feet. So how long is half a football field? Obviously it's 150 feet. So what's the problem with that? Is that these blades are clearly not touching the ground. So how tall is JTolan's turbine? And for that, I've gone on Google Earth, and this here is the turbine in question. You can see the latitude and longitude down here. What I've done with this image is I've measured the shadow. So you'll see I've drawn a line from the hub shadow to the base of the turbine, and you'll see that length of shadow is about 343 feet. It also has a heading of 173.87 degrees. All right, so we have a shadow with a certain length. We know which direction the sun is from. We know where we are, and we also know what the date is, which you can see the imagery date down the bottom corner here. All right, so what I did then is pull out Stellarium and set the date to be the 13th of December, the date that the Google Earth image was taken, and then played with the time of day until the azimuth of the sun was approximately 173.87 degrees. And that happened at 11:17 in the morning. At that time, the sun was at an elevation above eye level of 32 degrees and 39 minutes, which is an elevation of 32.7 degrees. So with that information, I know the shadow length, I also know the angle to the sun. I can actually work out an accurate height for the turbine up to the hub. And here is the pretty simple trigonometry for it. And I come out with a turbine hub height of 220 feet, not 150 feet. Right, if we do the similar triangles calculation again, except using 11 turbines at 220 feet per turbine rather than 150 feet per turbine, we get an answer of 10,080 feet, which is close, fairly close to the stated elevation of 10,834 feet. But what do we do with this base down the bottom? So remember, JTolan said it was 500 feet. On Google Earth, it is closer to 900 feet. Right, so you'll see that each gap between these turbine heights is 220 feet at the distance of the turbine. If you extend that using similar triangles to Mount San Jacinto, each one of these is actually 916 feet. So if this base level is roughly halfway in between, then 0 feet above sea level is another half a level below that 0 foot, which means we have to add roughly half of that level to the calculation, which is about 450 feet, which means that our actual calculated height is 10,530 feet. Again, that's pretty close to 10,830, but this is actually Mount San Jacinto, and it is about 11.25 times the height of the turbine. So instead of 11, we use 11.25, and we get 10,750 feet. And I'm pretty happy with that. It's pretty close to the stated height. But what I want to know is, how did JTolan get 150 feet for the height of the turbine? He said he measured it accurately with a laser rangefinder and inclinometer. How did he get it so wrong?